most cheating couples in Marvel Universe. Number 5. Gambit and Rogue. It comes as no surprise that the ladies' man Gambit isn't exactly the most faithful boyfriend, but neither Rogue was the most loyal girlfriend we thought she was. As we all know, Gambit's relationship with fellow X-Men Rogue is one of the prominent Marvel couplings of all time. However, it's too bad that both of them had their fair share in screwing it all up. As it turns out, in the beginning, it wasn't Rogue who Gambit was cheating on. Actually, she was the mistress. It was revealed that Gambit had a wife he had abandoned back home. So, here is the story. Before meeting and joining the X-Men, Gambit wed his childhood sweetheart, Belladonna Bordeaux. The two were from rival guilds in New Orleans, and their marriage was an effort to soothe the animosity between the gangs. Although Remy did seemingly have some feelings for Bella, their marriage didn't last long. The nearest cause was Gambit fooling around with his mistress, Rogue, behind Bella's back. After realizing he wanted to have Rogue in his life, he continued to make his own life choices. Gambit left New Orleans and Bella as well. Since then, Bella has become a prominent assassin with psychic abilities. Occasionally, she runs into the X-Men, but she never tries to hurt Gambit. According to her, she's still in love with him. Now, if we looked at our new couple, two people, clearly in love, yet aren't able to touch each other, it's the perfect story. Except, it's not entirely true. Each writer seems to decide to what degree Rogue and Gambit can't touch. In some arcs, they kiss pretty frequently. In others, the shortest moment of contact is catastrophic. Sometimes Rogue loses her powers, or finds a way to control them. It all just depends on who's writing. Although Gambit was more faithful to Rogue, it's hard to erase someone's natural instincts and patterns. During Gambit and Rogue's relationship, a new mutant student named Fox joined Gambit's class in X-Men 171. Immediately, Gambit was intensely attracted to her. Fox assured him that it would only be a physical relationship. He doesn't need to worry about loving her. She lured him by catching him alone in the shower, and he failed to resist. It's a little unclear what exactly happened between Fox and Gambit. Still, when Rogue found out, she was furious. She was even angrier than when she found out that Fox was really Mystique, her adopted mother. Apparently, Mystique wanted to remove Gambit from Rogue's life, since she thought he was bad news, and humans think they have bad in-laws. Also, another instance Gambit cheating on Rogue that we know with certainty is him stealing steamy kisses and many more from Storm in a bath. It looks like until now, it's all Gambit's fault, but as I said earlier, Rogue also had her fair share. One of the most controversial relationships in Marvel Comics is the romance between Magneto and Rogue. The age gap and the whole Magneto is a supervillain thing makes a lot of fans rebuke the pairing. Still, it lasted for a while. Long enough for Magneto to propose to Rogue in X-Men Legacy 274. As much as readers try to ignore it, the two have serious feelings for each other. Firstly, Magneto is old enough to be her grandfather. And secondly, he has also known her since childhood and served as one of Rogue's mentors from her teens to adulthood. It seems completely morally corrupt and also super gross that at no point does Magneto appear to consider how sketchy it is to have a relationship and intercourse with the woman he taught practically from childhood. The fact is, Magneto was not forcing anything on her, but Rogue was willing to connect with him. We cannot call Magneto a manther, as Rogue was the one to initiate the relationship. All in all, in reality, this couple, Gambit and Rogue, have broken up more times than we can count. Both Rogue and Gambit tend to be pretty emotional and volatile people. So, the second something goes wrong, they're quick to call the whole relationship off. Number 4. Pepper Pots. Unlike what we've seen in the movies, Pepper Pots was not as good of a girlfriend in the comic books as we thought, because she struggled to stay faithful to her partner. In the comics, Pepper does not end up with Iron Man. Following an ongoing love triangle between Tony Stark and Happy Hogan, Pepper Potts eventually settles down with Happy in 1967. The two leave Stark International to live a happy life in the suburbs of Cleveland with their adoptive children. However, the marriage would not last, and things fell apart. As it turns out, first Pepper ended up having an affair with an old high school boyfriend, and after she had relations with Tony Stark, who was the boss of Happy and her. She didn't stop there. After all that, she accused Happy with sleeping with someone else. Number 3. Invisible Woman. Reed and Sue Richards have been the talk during their entire comic book existence. They were a sweet couple until Sue betrayed Reed and things went south. As usually, Mr. Fantastic, Reed spends too much time in the lab. Due to this situation, Invisible Woman began to seek out affection elsewhere to satisfy her needs and urges. She has canoodled with Namor, Black Panther, and even Dr. Doom on several occasions. At a time when Reed and Sue had entered a bit of a marital spat, Sue actually decided to run into the arms of the Atlantean ruler Namor the Submariner, who had, for quite some time, made it clearly known he wished for her hand in marriage. Also, when Reed is believed to have died in Fantastic Four 381, she meets again with the King of Atlantis, and even though she believed her husband might still be alive, the two shared a romantic kiss and felt each other's warmth in Namor 50. They appeared together in the Marvel Knights Fantastic Four title and began making out in the Ultimate Universe. Number 2. Cyclops and Jean Grey. Years before they met in person, Jean was briefly in telepathic contact with Scott. Though Scott would eventually become the first X-Men, Professor Xavier had already begun to train young Jean Grey with her telepathic powers. She joined Xavier in his trip to Scott's orphanage to investigate whether he was indeed a mutant. Jean made psychic contact with Scott and felt his thoughts, which Xavier found amazing, as he himself could not sense them. At this point, Xavier assumed their mentalities must be operating on similar frequencies. Cyclops and Jean's history was a one-of-a-kind story, but writers won't allow everything to flow nicely, and they succeeded to some extent in destroying the beloved bond. As if the team involved in making the new X-Men were solely committed to ruining the marriage between Cyclops and Jean Grey, Grant Morrison's series included the fresh moment of hell. That was Jean Grey discovering that her husband Scott had been having a psychic affair with Emma Frost, who, just to make matters worse, was in the iconic Dark Phoenix outfit when she and Scott were caught. Both of the pair try to argue that this affair was only telepathic, but cheating through telepathy is still cheating, and the event serves to irreparably damage Jean and Scott's marriage for the rest of the series. All this only serves to bring up the series of questionable events that Cyclops and Grey's relationship has had, as longtime fans will remember the infamously uncomfortable moment that had Cyclops making out with Frost at the side of Jean's grave. Without stopping from there, they introduced this perspective to the reader also. Jean Grey wasn't the most faithful partner either. The Wolverine-Jean Grey dynamic had been building up for years until things really took the next step in the 80s and 90s. We can all admit the Jean Scott-Logan love triangle, especially when it was played out on the X-Men animated television series. During Grant Morrison's run on New X-Men, the two have a few steamy moments together. One such case was when Wolverine and Jean were sent into another dimension in Uncanny X-Men 394. Believing they are about to die, the two share a kiss. In Morrison's own New X-Men 117, the two kiss again following the discovery of Scott's psychic affair with Emma Frost. However, after many storylines were reached at a point, we all know death is rarely permanent in the world of serial fiction. And eventually, Jean came back, and after some hiccups, Scott and Jean rekindled their romance, and they retook their position as the romantic rock of the X-Men. Number 1. Gwen Stacy. In the storyline Sins Past by J. Michael Straczynski that started in 2004's The Amazing Spider-Man 509, Peter Parker learns that his ex-girlfriend, Gwen Stacy, had an affair with Norman Osborn just before her death. Gwen gave birth to twins and planned to raise them with Peter before Osborn tried to kill her. The news of this betrayal hurt Spider-Man deeply, especially considering who she had slept with. Her children, Gabriel Stacy and Sarah Stacy, have turned up on several occasions. Gabriel, notably, took on the role of the Grey Goblin and American Son. In the story, Gwen stated that she had gone to see Norman 7 months prior regarding something else, not to have relations. Yet, she felt so badly for Norman and that there was a strength and a magnetism she just couldn't walk away from. She wanted to be with him and have him inside of her. Result was, shortly after, Gwen had given birth to twins while they were in Europe, where they remained. Apparently, the children were born 2 months premature, but fully grown. Certainly a strange occurrence. There was also the question as to why the children were as old as they were. The timeline didn't make sense. The answer to both anomalies is Norman's exposure to the Goblin formula.